Hello people, you're welcome to Pro Masterclass. My name is Tola TA Alabi, and in today's class I'm going to be trying my best to answer this question that I get asked a lot from designers. The question of, can AI, that is artificial intelligence, take your job as a designer? I'm going to try to focus on graphic design here. So can AI take your job as a graphic designer? And before I go into this class, I want to thank my encouragement sponsors. And today I'm going to be thanking three people. Three people that have helped me to grow my knowledge through my conversations with them. And I think it's very important that we as individuals have people in our lives with whom we can have real, genuine, intellectual, spiritual conversations. And for me, these three people over the past few years have been my wife, Ibukun, my friend and business partner, Yinka Adesheson, and my longtime friend from university, Yomi Babatunde. I call him Genesis. And I enjoy my conversations with these people. And I feel they've really helped me to be introspective, they've helped me to be expressive, and they've helped me to grow my knowledge and be more empathetic. And with these people, I have not just business conversations, but I also have life conversations, which is a mixture of, spiritual conversations, intellectual conversations, relationship conversations. And it's just always very fulfilling talking to these people. And I feel every person needs at least three people in your life that you can talk to. You don't talk to them every day. Like with my case, I talk to my wife every day. We make time to talk every day. It might not be for long hours. It might be just for a few minutes, but we make time to connect and talk on a deep level every day. With Yinka, we are intentional about talking every week. With someone like Yomi, we're intentional about talking at least every quarter. So you see, it doesn't have to be something you do every day. It doesn't have you don't have to talk every hour, but you must put yourself in a position where you can talk with people that you really connect with, and people that can disagree with you and cause you to think about your opinions. Very important, not just yes men. People that can disagree with you, tell you their opinion, people that can validate you. It's very important. I want to dedicate this class or this session to those three people: my wife Ibukun, my friend Yinka Adesheson, and my longtime friend Genesis, Yomi Babatunde. Now we're going to be talking today about AI, and can AI take your job as a graphic designer? And this is a conversation for me that started on my mentoring group. And for those who don't know, I have a mentoring group where I mentor people, and I mentor them about life, about their career, relationships, and just help them to become better people. It started out as a design mentoring group, but that's grown to be more than that, because we have other people in other professions that are part of this mentoring group, and it's always been a source of inspiration and learning for me also as a person. And this conversation started up on the mentoring group, where a member of the group shared a video by Marques Brownlee, who is a famous YouTuber. And a member of my mentoring group, Victor Eka, shared a video some weeks ago, and Marques Brownlee was reviewing an AI that is in development that is called DALL-E 2. And this AI is being developed to help people generate unique images of their own that is suitable for whatever use they want it for. And it was a very, very great video. I think if you are listening to this on YouTube, I would leave the Marques Brownlee video in the description part of the of this video, of this audio on YouTube, and you can have a look at it too. I think it's something every creative and designer, I will go into that, why I said creative and designer, should have a look at. It's very important. So I'll leave the link in the description part of the video. So if you're listening to this is a podcast, you might want to go to YouTube and just Google Pro Masterclass, and you'll see the YouTube channel, and you'll see this exact audio there, and you can just access the Marques Brownlee video, the link to it. All right, so in that video he was reviewing something called DALL-E 2, and it was kind of interesting. It's a platform that is being developed, and obviously since it's called DALL-E 2, there must have been a 1, and I'm sure there's a 1. Yeah, I think there's a 1 from what he said, and it's being developed to help people generate their own images. And so the way it works is that you just input words and it comes up with images that best describe your words. So I'll put it this way: if I wanted an image of a blue bird standing on a black car with green headlights, it will generate a unique image never seen before, fitting all this, everything I've described in text, and putting it into an image. If I can also go further to describe, if I want the image to be an illustration of a blue bird standing on a black car with yellow headlights or green headlights, and to give me an illustration, not a photo. I can also go further to talk about the type of illustration. So I could say a pop art illustration of a bird, a black bird standing on, or a blue bird standing on a black car with green headlights. And it will now give me the illustration in pop art style. And not only would it give me one illustration, it will give me options to choose from. And for me, this was mind-blowing. It wasn't perfect, to be honest, but it was mind-blowing that you could just type in text and to generate images. I found that pretty interesting. And one thing we found ourselves talking about on the mentoring group is how this could affect the design industry. Because we could see a lot of ways in which this could be used to enhance design or to quicken design. Now the question now comes to us that, look, if the normal person can do this, why would they need designers? Hence the question, can AI take your job as a graphic designer? Now, before now, I've been asked that question. That question I've been asked over the past 5-6 years. People have been asking that question. And it became a concern to me in 2013 when a company called Canva came on the scene. And Canva started giving people the opportunity to attempt design themselves, by themselves, without hiring a graphic designer. That was when I started to look at it and say, oh, this is interesting. This is making graphic design more accessible to normal people, to the everyday person, whereby they get your hands dirty. This thing is not rocket science. And since the advent of Canva, a lot of people have been trying to go at design themselves. And some people have been fairly successful at it. Some people have been very successful, and some people have found no success. They just resort back to hiring a graphic designer. But that was the first hint that we got, that people wanted to start to solve the graphic design problem by themselves. And why were people trying to solve the graphic design problem? Because there were gaps. People realized that there were gaps with working with graphic designers. And this was gaps that people wanted to be solved, and they wanted to have more control in the process of designing. With Canva, it didn't give people all that more control because with Canva, you still needed to design, and people just didn't know how to do that. And I realized by talking with a lot of people, they realized that Canva, even them trying to use Canva, number one, took them more time than working with a graphic designer. Number two, the outcome wasn't just good at all. It just seemed like an amateur working with a design product. So it wasn't working. So a lot of people kind of ditched that and still just went back to try to hire a professional. Now, the problem people have with professionals, in quotes, graphic design professionals or practitioners, is number one, speed. Now, this is a problem that is both the problem of the designers and the problem of the client. Some clients just don't plan for design. You understand? They don't plan enough, they don't allocate enough time for the design process. So I want something designed, but I needed it yesterday. So I need you to rush it up. So I give you a brief and I want it tomorrow or this evening. The faster you can get it across to me, the better. So people don't plan for design. So a lot of times designers don't have a lot of time to work on designs. So it was a big problem. It's a big problem for clients and a big problem for designers. Clients go around saying designers are not fast enough. Designers go around saying clients don't give them enough time. So it's a planning problem. And sometimes it's not a planning problem, sometimes it's a designer problem, where the designer just takes too much time in brainstorming. So they spend so much time in their mind trying to solve the problem before working on it. It's a great way to work, to brainstorm, but at the same time, from the moment the client engages you, they start becoming impatient and want feedback. And the client doesn't see brainstorming saying, oh, I'm thinking about it as progress. The client sees something tangible as progress. So that's the problem with time. Another problem that people have with designers, the human designer, options. Clients have been spoiled for options from the beginning of design as a service. So they're spoiled for options. So clients always want options. They call for options. Oh, when you're giving me this logo design, can you give me like 5 options to choose from? 6 options to choose from. I've had people say as ridiculous as 20 options. People want options. I know it's very hard in today's world to ask people not to want options. It's very hard. I'm not a big fan of loading clients with options. Like people that work with me know that when I work on a logo project, a lot of times I've been known for just presenting one design. I'm not big on options, saying, oh, these are your options, these are your design options. No, I always present one per time to clients, and then we work on that one and we develop it and stuff. I'm not one for options. But people want options, and I realize that that's not going to change anytime soon. It's just going to be further entrenched. Clients are going to want options. It's everywhere. There's so many options in everything. Options of food, options of TV channels, options of podcasts, options of services, delivery food services, the options of clothing, options to music. The genres have increased over the years. So why not design? So it's like kicking against a brick wall if you're a designer saying you're not offering options. It's not, unless you've gotten to that level in your career where you've become such a strong force that people just trust your suggestions at once. And it takes a lot of time to get to that level. And very few people ever get there. So clients want options. So you are strapped for time and you need to create a lot of options within a short time. It's getting tighter and tighter. Now clients want work to be good. They want their work to be good. Everyone wants value on their money. And they want more value on money in today's world. Everybody wants to stretch their dollar to the maximum. It's a concept of business. You must always deliver more than you're being paid. That is what makes a good deal. When a client gets more in service than they are giving in payment. That's a good deal. It's hard to run a business in today's world on a fair deal. And a fair deal is where you give the client exactly what they are paying for. Because there are so many business options here, people always gravitate towards the people that give them more than what they are paying for. So clients want something, they want more, they want good. So it's tight. Now you need to be fast, you need to be able to give options, and you need to be good. Now clients, the fourth thing clients also want is uniqueness. They want your work, they want their work to stand out amongst other people's work. Clients don't want you to reproduce stuff for them. People hate it in today's world where they feel like if, oh, this other guy has exactly what I have, or what he has looks like mine. And you see it in today's world where you design identities for companies and they look at it and they say, oh, this logo looks like mine, they are using the same circle. People want something unique, and that's when people come to you and say, design a logo for me. They say, make it unique, something I've never seen before. You understand? So it's so tight. You need to be fast, options, good, unique. Very tight. Unfortunately, that is what DALL-E 2 solves. It solves all these 4 problems. It's fast. You get results in 10 seconds. It gives you options. You get 6, 7, 8, 9 options. It's good. Most of the work I've seen, especially you can watch it on the video I'm going to leave in the description, you can see that the work is actually decent. It's not bad. The images that come up are not terrible images. They're good. Number 4, they're unique. They're original. Never been seen before. Freshly generated. 4 strikes against the human. So the question, can a graphic designer be replaced by AI? Can AI take your job as a graphic designer? My answer to that question is yes, there's a strong possibility. But we might be looking at it the wrong way. And the truth is, we might be asking the wrong question. When we talk about AI and we look at it and we say, can AI take my job? Then we are looking at technology as the enemy and not as a friend. And that's already a defeatist way of looking at technology. You will never harness technology if you look at it as the enemy. Never. It will never help you. It will never help you. So when people ask that question, can AI take my job? Would AI take my job? They see AI as the big villain coming to take your job. That is not the question. The question we should be asking is, how will AI change my industry? That is a more proactive question. How would AI change my industry? Because that's what AI seeks to do, to bring about change, not to take people's job. People losing their job because of technology is not because technology took their job, it's because they didn't prepare themselves for the change that technology brought. They were not proactive enough. So, even though I've said AI can take your job, that's not a good question. And that's a very sadistic answer. What I want us to focus on is, how would AI change the design industry? And what I'm going to say is that AI will change the design industry by separating, this is what I said in the beginning about creatives and design doers. AI will change the industry by separating creatives from design doers. And you might ask yourself, who is a creative and who is a design doer? A creative is somebody who relies on thinking as the biggest asset to doing their job as designers. Thinking is your biggest asset, your mind, your ability to come up with ideas that are unique, specific, and informed. That is what makes you a creative. A design doer is somebody that relies on artifacts from the outside, created things, and arranging them within a space. It might be a physical space or a digital space to come up with something. So, a design doer relies on instruction. You take in instruction. So the client comes and tells you, I need a logo that is blue, that is a circle, that has a woman's face on it, and stuff like that. So you're taking instruction and you see the best way to create from that instruction. AI, like DALL-E 2, will take that person's job, because that is what AI does. It takes instruction and gives you its best result. Design doers do the same thing. But AI never takes the place of a creative who does the thinking, because AI cannot come up with the information on its own. It needs to be fed the information, and that has always been technology, and that has always been the limitation of technology. Technology is as good as the information that goes into it. Google is only a brilliant platform for people that know how to use it and put in the information and specifics they want. How many people have you met on Google that say, I can't find this thing on Google, and you go there in 2 seconds, you type in something and you got the answer? Because that person didn't know how to impute information into the technology called Google. And that's what's going to happen with design. If you are a design doer that doesn't think, but what you do is take information, sample information. You are inspired by information that is coming into you. So I meet designers that tell me, oh, I can't work because I don't have a client. And I ask them, well, can't you come up with a project yourself? Can't you think of something to, at least just to keep yourself busy, come up with a fictitious project? And then I can't think of a fictitious project. How will I know? And I'm like, come up with a brief for yourself. And I can't think of a brief for myself. I need a client to give me a brief. Then that means you are a design doer. You are taking orders, you are putting it together and giving the result. The future, the people that would have very secure jobs are the people that are able to think. They are able to think. Those are the people that are able to think and create something out of nothing. And talk about specifics, where a client can come to you and say, I have a restaurant, and you can tell the client what they need, the kind of logo they need, the kind of branding they need, the kind of color they need, the kind of fonts they need, the kind of era the design should come from. You know, that takes an informed designer. And that's why I advocate for designers to notch down on the artistic side a bit and knock up the notch a bit on the intellectual side and read on wide subject matters. There was a video that was also sent on my mentoring group, and this one was actually an Instagram video. I'll try to put that link to in YouTube. So please, if you're listening to this on podcast, go to my YouTube channel and check the description. You'll find that there too. And I was talking about the latest edition, as at when this podcast is being made, the latest edition of Cosmopolitan magazine. And the cover was created by AI, with using AI, the same DALL-E 2. And if you watch that video, it's interesting how the lady that created the cover was able to create the cover by being specific about what she wanted. The more specific she was, the more incredible the cover came out. The result was amazing. But the result was only amazing not because of our ability to click a mouse, not because of our ability to use a particular software, whether Photoshop, Illustrator. No, the result was amazing because of the width of her knowledge, her ability to use the right words, to know to have a clear description of what she wanted in her mind. So if you look at, if you watch the video, you'll see that the last thing she said she wanted an image of an astronaut woman, take a photo taken from below, a wide angle photo. She talked about the style of the illustration. You see, if she didn't have any of this information, she just said, oh, I want the photo of an astronaut woman. And that would be basic. But because she had a rich understanding of subject matters in and around design, she could create a wonderful cover. So if AI is not going to take your job, you need to be a thinking designer. Thinking is what separates a creative from a design doer. Your ability to think and solve problems, not your ability to take already curated, created things and arrange them on a canvas. It's your ability to think and solve problems that makes you a creative. And it's the creatives that would go into the future excited about the possibilities that AI offers. The creatives are the ones who would see AI as an ally and not an enemy to take away their jobs. So I want to advise designers today to invest in building your thinking capacity. Invest in building your thinking capacity. It's very important. Increase your knowledge of various subject matters, because this would be the currency going forward into the very near future in the design industry. So think about this. If you are a designer in this age, invest in thinking. Become a design thinker. Consume content around design, within design, outside design. Have conversation. Build your knowledge. And I hope someone finds this useful today and it makes you excited about the future with AI.